Hey guys, it's Christopher. In this video, I'm going to show you my acoustic guitar and vocal version of Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. This song was the first single from their self-titled debut album in 1986, and the song had a very fun, creative music video which helped it gain a lot of popularity, where it was either at the top or near the top of the charts in a lot of countries around the world. Now, the version I'm going to teach you in this video is in DADGAD tuning, which has a very open, wide sound, which really lends itself well to playing this song solo. The original song is in the key of E flat, but we're actually going to move it down just a half a step and be playing it in D. However, if you want to play it in E flat in the original key, learn everything I'm about to show you and then slap a capo on the first fret and you're back in the key of E flat. So I'll be showing you some of the chord shapes in DADGAD that we're going to be using, as well as going over some of the rhythm and strumming pattern. A couple of key parts of the song that we're going to pay special attention to are the intro and the instrumental part, which have a little bit more going on there. And finally, I'll give you some tips of how to integrate your voice into this arrangement and give you some options if this happens to not be a good key for your voice. Before we get started, if you haven't watched my performance of the song yet, I encourage you to do so. You can find the link in the description. All right, let's get into Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. First thing we're going to do is take a look at the tuning. So DADGAD is a pretty familiar open tuning or altered tuning for most people, but let me go over it real quick for you. Now, starting from standard tuning, in DADGAD tuning, we're going to take our first string and tune it from an E down to a D. Tune our second string B down to an A. Leave G as it is. Leave D as it is. Leave fifth string A as it is. And then we're going to take our sixth string, our low E string, and tune it down to a D. And to play a D chord, you actually fret the G string on the second fret. Technically, that is a D5 chord because there's no third in it. Okay, let's just go through the song section by section, starting with the intro. Now, the intro plays a chordal riff that is a D sus2 to a D7 sus. Now, what that looks like is we're going to play our low D string, and then we're going to mute the fifth string by touching our index finger just to the bottom of that string. And then we're going to bar the remaining strings on the 7th fret. That's the D sus2, the D7 sus. Just take that shape, move it down 2 frets. Okay? Now the rhythm for this part is a down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. Now you'll hear when I'm playing the downstroke, I'm actually hitting the 4th and the 3rd string before I hit the upstroke. And I'm also cutting that note off with the palm of my hand on my right hand. Now, right after I hit that last upstroke on the D7 sus, I'm playing a little bass riff. If you listen to the original, there's kind of a bass riff that leads into the first verse. So you open A, 2nd fret, open D, 2nd fret, open D, back to the A. So the whole intro goes like this. And then we're at the top of the first verse. Now for the main part of the song, there's really about 5 or 6 chord shapes that we need to know. 2 of those are B minor. We're going to use 2 different B minor shapes. So let's look at the shapes real quick. The first shape is a D, or a D5, which I showed you earlier. I'm just going to call it a D in most cases as we're going through the song. A B minor, which is our index finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, ring on the 4th fret of the 4th string, pinky on 4th fret of the 3rd string, and then open, open. Now you'll notice I took my middle finger here and kind of laid it down across the low string so that I'm not making any sound out of that string. I like to do that. I mean, you could just strum from the 5th string. I like to do this just because then I don't have to think about it. Next chord is going to be a G. In this case, this is going to be a G sus2. And really, we're just going to have our middle finger on the 5th fret of the low 6th string. And then everything else is open, but we're muting the 5th string right there. And actually, I lied earlier. There's going to be another shape for the G chord, which is basically these 3 fingers, your middle ring and pinky, in a row on the 6th, 5th, and 4th strings on the 5th fret. And then we're putting our index finger on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, and then open, open. Now take that shape, move it up 2 frets. That's going to be your A chord, or what we're going to call an A chord in this arrangement. It's actually like an A sus4, to be technical about it. And then our other shape for the B minor that I talked about earlier is we're taking this, there's the A, we're going to go up 2 more frets, but instead of the index finger being there, we're going to move it down a fret. I actually prefer to play this shape by flipping these up, putting my ring and pinky on the bottom 2 strings, and leaving the D open in the middle here. So B minor, A, G, G sus2, and then our other B minor down here. And then our last shape that we're going to find in the verse is an F sharp major. We're going to take this G shape that we've been playing here, slide it down 1 fret, take our pinky off, and put it up and bar the top 2 strings. So we've got these 2 on the bottom. We're muting the 4th string. Got our index finger on the 3rd fret of the 3rd string, and our pinky is barring these 2 on the top. So we've got B minor, A, G, F sharp, B minor, and D. And those are going to be the chords that we'll use in the main part of the song. There's a couple of additional things we'll need to go over when we get to the instrumental part, but we'll do that when we get to it. All right, so let's play that whole first verse. There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch some deluge in a paper cup. There's a battle ahead, many battles are lost, but you'll never see the end of the road while you're traveling with me. Okay, let's look at the rhythm and the strumming for the verse. Now the basic pattern is going to be a And I'm doing a little muting in there just to get the separation between the chords to give it a little bit more rhythmic emphasis. There is freedom within, there is freedom without. Try to catch the deluge in a paper cup. Now, we're going to carry that strumming pattern into the chorus, and let's look at the chorus right now and the chord shapes that we're going to be doing there. Now, the chorus starts with a G, then it goes to an A, then a D. And then we're going to walk down this B minor, A, G. And then it's going to repeat that pattern. So, on the chorus. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when a world comes in, they come, build a wall between us, you know they won't win. Then we hit that A as we transition into verse 2. Verse 2 is going to be just like verse 1, and then we go through that to the chorus again. Chorus, just like the first chorus, and that's going to put us at the instrumental section. The instrumental section has a few different things going on, so let's take a closer look at that. Now, the idea here behind the instrumental is to give a few little melodic lines in there to make it a little more interesting than just playing the chords. Now, this doesn't line up exactly with what's on the original. I know there's an organ solo in the first part of the instrumental, and then there's a guitar solo kind of in the last half. So we're going to do our best to kind of not so much approximate, but just to give it some different melodic texture to it, so that it's, again, that we're just not strumming the chords the whole time. So we're going to start out with a D, and then we're going to hit this, it's like a D major 7, so pinky on the 4th fret of the B string or the 2nd string. To the B minor. So we're just taking that note that's with our index finger and moving it down a fret and then back up to kind of get that same note that we were playing down here. So you might be asking, why don't we play the B minor shape here? It's just a little bit harder to get that. You could do it that way. I just prefer it to do it this way. So you decide. And then we're going to play the G and play a little figure off of there. Take our pinky up here on the 5th fret of the 2nd string. We're playing that little figure, so. To the F sharp. Then we're going to repeat that whole thing again. And that brings us to the second part of the instrumental. We're going to do a little guitar figure here. We're going to start with our ring finger on the 4th fret of the low 6th string and our index finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret. We're going to immediately slide that to this kind of the shell formation of our G chord. Then we're going to take our pinky, bar the top 2 strings, slide it up from the 5th fret to the 7th fret and back. And then end up on the D. Then take our middle finger and on the top string. So we've got that time we're going to just play a little figure on the top string, 2nd fret, 4th fret. Then we come to this, what's a C13 chord, and the way that looks is this little shape right here. 2nd finger, 5th string, 3rd fret, index, 2nd fret of the 4th string, and our middle finger, our ring finger on the 3rd string, 3rd fret. And then open on the top. So let's do the entire instrumental section. Here we go. Then we are back to the verse, the very last verse, verse 3. As you probably guessed, verse 3 is just like verse 1 and verse 2. We go to the chorus again, just like the other choruses. Okay, now we're going from the last chorus, we're heading towards the outro. We're going to hang on that G. Okay, and then there's going to be a little riff that I added in here to kind of simulate the organ part that goes on in the original, just to kind of get a flavor of that. And when we hit that outro, the chords we're going to be playing over are G, A, D, B minor, A, just like the chorus, okay? But when we first hit the outro, we're going to play. And then we'll start doing some ad-libs and whatnot over the last part of the song. So what I'm playing there, I'm taking my index finger, which is on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, taking it down, and then D string, 4th fret, and then I'm playing an A chord here. It's really just an A power chord, 5th string, open, 2nd fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 3rd string barred. And then the second part is. So I'm playing index finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, open, 4th fret of the 4th string, 2nd fret of the 4th string, and then open. Now when I land on that open string there, I'm going to fret this B minor chord up here that has an open D string in it. Then we move on to the rest of the outro, which is some vocal ad-libbing over those chorus chords. You can kind of do whatever you want here, borrow from the chorus a little bit. What I did was, don't let them win. So you can just do a variety of things. Listen to the original, probably give you some ideas there. And then just end it with a B minor, walking down, end on the G chord. Okay, to wrap up here, let's talk about a couple of tricky parts of the song, some transitions you need to think about, and I'll just kind of tell you like what gave me trouble in the song. Things that I had to really focus on and work on were in the intro, coming out of the, going to that, because you're kind of strumming along. Then you got to switch into picking mode. So give that some special attention. Maybe just want to focus on that part a little bit. And the other parts, probably, the verses and the choruses are pretty straightforward. The instrumental, just kind of takes some time to work that out. That took me a little bit of time to kind of come up with that without trying to play the exact solo that's in the song, which, can be tricky when you're playing by yourself. You're playing solo because you want to keep some element of the chords going while you're adding some melodic touches to it. So just focus on those parts. You kind of drill them down and practice those over and over, and then integrate them back into the big part of the song, the main part of the song, and that should work out great for you. Now, when you're adding your voice to this song, the way I like to approach learning a song like this is first I learn the guitar part thoroughly, then I separately learn the vocal part thoroughly, and then I marry the two together. So, you want to have it to be where both of those things are kind of second nature. That way you can focus on how they blend together. Because a lot of times you can have strumming patterns that are maybe contrary to the vocal rhythm. So you'll need to focus on getting those smoothed out and make sure, that those are the way that you want them to be. And it just takes time to do the guitar, do the vocal, put them together. Probably the trickiest thing about singing this song is the falsetto in the chorus. Don't dream. So if you have trouble with your falsetto, or you feel like it's maybe not quite what it needs to be, one thing that I do, and this is a little bit of a cheat, but if I'm not feeling super confident about a falsetto note, I'll add some vibrato to it, and honestly, the vibrato just kind of hides any little imperfections that you may be adding to the note. Don't dream, when the world. Add the vibrato. It kind of makes it less noticeable if maybe you're just off a little bit. So try that out. Exaggerate it at first. That's what I always tell everybody. Exaggerate it and then dial it back when you're actually performing the song. And the same goes, keep your breathing, your breath support from your diaphragm. Don't be breathing from your chest and from your throat. Support it from down here. And really enunciate your words. Again, exaggerate them at first. There is freedom within. There is freedom without. Hey now, hey now. Get your mouth open. Enunciate the words. It gives you a lot more dynamic, and I think it just makes the song more engaging. But again, when I'm practicing, I exaggerate this stuff and then I dial it back to where it sounds more natural. Otherwise, you kind of sound like a weirdo. So anyway, that's how I integrate my voice into the song. And the last thing I want to talk about is the key of the song. So if you're having trouble, if this is like, man, that's just too high for me, I can't sing it in that key. Well, normally I would say, well, move your capo. Well, we're not dealing with a capo, and so we're wanting to keep these chord voicings the same. So we don't want to necessarily change the key to different shapes. The whole point of doing it in DADGAD is to get those chord voicings. So one trick that you could try, and this is what I call going high to go low. Now what that means is you can grab your capo and actually put it up fairly high on the neck. So for this song, I don't think I would probably go any higher than maybe you could go 7th fret. That's pretty high. Maybe 5th fret. Okay. Then, so you're probably thinking, well, why would I do that? That's just making it higher. Well, then you sing it down an octave. So there is freedom within. There is freedom without. So that can work, you know, if you have a more of a baritone voice. You know, the chorus, you know, we were doing that walk down with the chords. You may need to switch this B minor shape. That's pretty high. You're getting up there to the 14th fret. You might want to switch it to this shape. Hey now, don't dream it's over. Hey now, when the world comes. You could do it. It's just a little bit of a tight fit. Probably depends on the scale of your guitar. If you're playing a parlor guitar, that's probably not going to work at all. Don't Dream It's Over by Crowded House. This is a fun little song to play as a solo performer. If you're playing for some older Gen Xers like me, we're going to love this song. This song is right in the wheelhouse of when I was in high school, so it's one of my all-time favorite songs. Hope you like this song, and I'll see you next time.